Hello and welcome back to Animates, your source for all things retro anime. My name is Mackenzie, and this week I am joined by my lovely co-host, who you should call Edward Cullen the way she stopped a car with her arm, except she's only human, so it didn't go quite as smoothly.
No, I broke my radius in my ulna.
So we'll just call her Lindsey.
Hi, everybody. I can't write with my right hand anymore.
You're still sparkly, though.
I am still sparkly.
So welcome back to the podcast for your first full episode since the break.
Boop, boop.
Even though you are still healing up,
It's
we
still
all missed
broken.
you.
Oh, thanks, guys. I missed you all
But
too.
now you're kind of like Wolverine. You got metal in your body.
I do got metal in my body.
Now, this week, since you're still healing, I wanted to give you something nice and easy, but also inspiring and beloved by people for numerous reasons.
Okay.
This show is a tale about a misunderstood genius who
Ooh.
travels the land taking on odd jobs and changing the lives of those around him for the better, even if they don't realize it until he's gone, because he's often chased out of town by people who just don't understand his methods.
Okay. I like it so far.
And the art and character design really scratches an itch for a lot of people.
In like what way?
It's one of those shows that really sucks you in and doesn't leave you high and dry.
Did you just say tits really? Or did I
Because
just like...
when Booty Calls, series creator Tatsuya
no!
Ogawa does an astronomical job of giving fans what they want.
It has been 2 months.
Okay. Like someone who masturbates with soap, I'll come clean.
Oh my gosh! I
Lindsey.
have never heard that before.
This week is special.
Oh man.
It marks the end of an embargo. An embargo on pantsu.
Oh man, first episode back.
But
Wait, add insult to injury.
I figured I would lead us back into it with something
Okay.
I've actually already shown you a clip of.
Is it the hamster?
We are not watching the sexy hamster anime. No.
Oh, man.
You might remember the clip of a boy in a swimming pool getting a face full of ass that he gulps down the water from. That's right, Lindsey. This week we are watching Golden Boy.
Oh man, I have such mixed feelings about this.
Now, the plot that I laid out is actually the correct plot.
Okay.
It is a boy going, or I guess a man, going town to town, doing odd jobs and being misunderstood. I just didn't mention all of the ass and titties that comes along with it.
Ass, titties, ass. Oh man. Okay. Well,
Also,
I'm excited to watch it.
I was Googling sex puns, and that's where I saw the come clean one. And it was on a mug. I was like, who would have that as a mug?
Right? Oh man.
But it's been a while since we watched something truly ecchi.
Yeah, it's true.
But the fans want what the fans want.
All right, fine.
And with how simplistic this show is, you won't have to write too many notes.
Okay.
You can just
Great.
ogle at the powerful take no shit ladies in each episode and laugh at the great gag humor throughout.
Oh man, it'll be something.
I just remember because I showed you that when we were first kind of talking about the podcast.
Yeah.
I was, we could watch something like this one day. And the look on your face of sheer horror of like, that's disgusting.
I was like, are you freaking kidding me? I honestly thought, like, what am I getting myself into?
Well, are you ready, Lindsey, to watch the infamous English dub of Golden Boy?
Oh, interesting. All right.
Because
yeah, I'm ready.
This
Let's do
show is not worth watching if you are not watching it in English. Do you remember how Samurai Pizza Cats kind of had free reign?
Oh, yeah. It was great.
Take that, make it 18 plus, and put it on crack.
I'm so ready. This sounds ridiculous. And I feel like I'm going to see a lot of things that I never thought I would see.
I hope so, because you have 6 whole episodes,
Holy crap.
the whole series of sexy comedy coming your way.
Incredible.
So it's time to perk up and go watch some Golden Boy.
Oh, man.
And we're back from watching all 6 episodes of Golden Boy. Now, Lindsey, did this series leave enough of a titillating impression that it made you want to slurp up the creator's toilet water? Or was it a total bust that made you want to tear up your notebook like Madam President did to Kintaro? Or was it middle of the road, simply astounding in its mediocrity?
Oh my gosh. I mean, I didn't hate this one as much as I thought I would.
It's surprisingly decent.
Yeah, I think I enjoyed it more than Aika.
I figured you would.
I mean, you got text messages while I was watching it with my reactions to certain things. So I have some thoughts on some certain physics that exist in this world.
Characters are half human, half
Jiggly?
jello.
They're half bounce.
Yeah. But look, it's a classic for a reason, Lindsey.
Yeah.
Doesn't take itself seriously at all, which is what allows it to be as insane as it is.
Yeah. And I think what also gives it kind of this permission to be as pervy, I guess, as it is that Kintaro is like quote unquote book smart, but he's not very like socially smart.
No.
And so because he doesn't have that kind of social decorum that other people have, he kind of can get away with doing these ridiculous things.
No,
and it's just not, you aren't as mad at it because he's not a person in positions of power. He's not holding down a job. He's not,
no.
If
you took this same premise and removed all of the sexy stuff, it has a pretty good message behind it.
Absolutely. 100%.
Don't judge a book by its cover is kind of one of the main
clean
ones.
up your messes.
Yes, that too. Because you can't tell me the Noodle Shop wasn't a pretty good episode.
Mm-hmm. And you see, he has a good heart.
He loves boobies, but don't we all?
He's just got a heart on.
Exactly. See, I didn't
gosh.
lie.
So many boners.
They censor most of them.
I know, but it's just like, holy moly.
Yeah. And look, I didn't lie about the premise. It is about a secret genius traveling the land, taking on odd jobs.
It was funny because when you were first telling me that, I for some reason thought of Doctor Who.
Oh. No.
This is nothing like Doctor Who.
Well, what's even funnier is that when the show starts, like with the intro, it seems like it's going to be a serious show.
And then within the first minute, there's jiggly jugs in your face with nipples that show through fabric that, unlike any other fabric I've ever worked with.
Look, she gets excited by hitting kids with her car, okay?
She needs to go to therapy.
Everyone in this series needs to go to therapy.
It's true. It's very true. Everyone needs to go to therapy. Holy shit.
It is also a show that you have to listen to either on low volume or with headphones if you have people you live with, especially episode 5, which we'll get into. That's a rev your engines kind of episode.
Oh, it does rev your engine, or revs her engines.
And the weird thing about this show, though, is the animation doesn't suck.
No. It's like nice animation.
It's wild to have such a crazy show with such good looking designs and characters and effort.
Yeah, it's
put
like
into
very
it.
clean, and everybody is like, each character you can clearly like tell the difference between.
Mm-hmm.
The layouts are beautiful. Like, it doesn't make sense.
No, and that's why this is so beloved, because it's just all the things that it shouldn't have, it has, and all the things it should have, it does.
Yeah, it's like it still has. I mean, there's no tentacles, so it didn't have that.
No, it doesn't have any tentacles, and so this show follows the first 10 manga volumes.
Okay.
The reason they didn't make any more episodes is apparently after the 10th volume, the series or the manga actually becomes coherent.
Oh, interesting. So
and
it's
not
as
like episodic. Yeah. So they were like, nah, we're going to leave it at this. Just kind of let it do its thing, which I think is for the best.
Yeah. I think it's a nice length because you still get each individual stories and stuff like that, and then the last episode kind of linking them all together and tying it up in like a nice little bow. I think if it was any longer, it would get old really fast.
Yeah, I think it was the perfect length. I think it did a titty decent job at keeping it kind of,
Get out, get
constrained.
out. It kept itself abreast.
Yeah, I don't know, a good response to that. It was a good one.
I'm glad. I'm trying to think of a labia one, but
Before we get in to talking about the episodes, I really do got to say this was clearly a labia of love.
this was literally such a wild show to watch.
Oh yeah, like you could tell that from start to finish they had it labiaed all out to make sure it was going to be a really good experience for everybody.
Yeah, even like the detail in the vulva that people were driving, like just so clean.
So good. I can just looking at our analytics is like the watch time
Just drops.
Well, let's
One
keep
more,
people.
wait, one more.
What?
This is a show that I think you must watch.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one.
Oh man. Okay, great. Well, on that note, now that we've prepared everybody, should we get into the breakdowns?
Yeah, let's start everyone off with episode 1 where we meet the
The commander in queef.
Okay. Well, let's keep people entertained and let's get into these episodes.
Okay. So first episode is called computer studies, not commuter studies. But I mean, it might as well, just with how this starts out with our protagonist riding his bike and getting hit by a Ferrari. Triggering.
Oh, right. I'm totally sorry. Hey, Lindsey, while you're recovering, here's a really funny, easy series for you to watch and review. Forgetting the first episode is getting hit by a car.
And then in the third episode, the guy is hit by a car and he breaks his arm. That's why he can't operate his noodle shop.
Oh, crap, I forgot about that.
I'm like,
Shit.
yeah, it's terrifying when you break your arm and you're like, well, how am I going to make my money? I need my arm.
Oh, man. Well, back to our bike guy, at least for now.
Yes. So he gets hit by this car, and then who steps out but this woman in this weird latex outfit that
I like her outfit, thank you
it
very
is
much.
really cool. I was like, that would be so slick in a red latex.
Hell yeah.
But she's just like over it, and she's just like, ugh, fine, whatever. Here's $10,000. It'll cover your medical bills. Just like gives it to him. He's like drooling because like her nipples are just fucking out.
They're not out. Well,
no,
they're covered, but they're out.
They're at attention.
$10K for landing in some trash and not being broken is a pretty good deal.
I know. I'm like, that would be fine with me.
And yes, she is half human, half jello.
The physics of this world. Like, I just love. I texted you this. Like, she moves, or nothing about her moves, but her boobs will just jiggle, and you're like, what is going on? You're talking. Why are your boobs jiggling?
They've got a muscle connecting her jaw directly to.
Like they must. Like the pectoral just goes all the way up.
Now, this won't mean anything to you, but it will mean things to people who are listening. The voice actress for the Madam President, as she's called, is also Asuka from Evangelion and Becky from Gunsmith Cats, which are 2 series I will eventually show you.
Great.
But
I look forward to it.
People at home will know that.
You know, Madam President gets back in her Ferrari and drives away. And Kintaro is like just walking, and he gets his bike fixed by this really lovely guy, and he's like, how much do I owe? And he's like, oh no, I didn't have to fix anything. I just had to bend something out of, like it's all good. Don't worry about it. Next time, you can pay me, but this time it's on the house. And so he's walking away, and the Yakuza walk up to this old man. And they're like, where's our money, old man? He's like, please, if I can just have a little bit more time. And they're like, the Yakuza don't. And it's like, it looks like this man is going to lose his kneecaps. And
yes.
Kentaro is like walking towards them and then just turns at the last minute and is like, whoa,
to
the Yakuza. Like, oh my gosh, I laughed so hard.
Because it looks like he's going to do some cool shit, but nah, he's just taking some notes.
Like, I thought he was going to give this 10 grand away, but no. Oh, man. So he heads to his new job where he is a janitor at an all-women's software firm. And it's just only hot women work here.
Hot women in STEM.
Tiny outfits. Yes, hot women in STEM.
First off, only one of them wears a tiny outfit.
No, there's a couple of them.
Not quite like Madam President.
No, nobody is quite like Madam President. Also, Madam President's hair is incredible. I just want to say that.
Holy shit,
I
is it ever.
wish my hair looked like that.
You
But
cannot
no.
tell me, anyone who's seen this, that if you look at Madam President when she's like got that incredible hair and that loose denim shirt, that you're like not thinking that's an absolute hottie.
That is fuck
You're
me hair.
blind if you don't
Oh
see
my
that.
gosh, it's so good. So he starts cleaning because his job is to be a janitor, and he has to clean the toilets. And I guess he decides to do that with his fucking tongue. 'Cause he's like, Madam President sits here. And I just was like, I could not roll my eyes hard enough. Like I was doing a full body eye roll.
I could only imagine the look on your face during this toilet scene when he's like drinking from the bidet.
He's just pulling a salt burn, just drinking toilet water, just drinking weird, like, ugh, I don't like it. I don't like it. And of
It's
course he
so
gets caught.
disgusting.
Oh, so gross. And they're like, "Can you not?" And he's like, "I'm sorry, I want to learn how to do computers. I like stayed up all night studying with my cardboard." And you're like, "Yeah, that's how you
Yeah,
learn."
'cause he doesn't have a computer.
Yeah, so he just taught himself on cardboard, which I was like, "That's accurate." Mac, you can do it that way, right?
Oh yeah, totally.
Ugh. So for some reason they let him stay. And he is like about to go home for the night and he realizes that someone has left their light and their computer on. And he's like, "Well, that's not good for the environment. You should always make sure to conserve energy and turn things off when you're done using them." And I was just like, "No, no, 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 no." Yeah. And he unplugs it and Madam President is like, "We've been working for months on this program and it's all been deleted."
Okay, I can only feel so bad because as someone who works in programming, I'm so thankful for online repositories like Google
Mhm.
Drive and stuff, but
Yeah, but this is
also
like the 90s.
but that's what I'm getting at though. If you have a server that requires being online and on like powered on the whole time, you need to have a secondary backup that's offline.
Mhm.
Hard copy offline backups.
100%.
Also, no server should completely delete everything if it's turned off.
Yeah, that feels weird.
Like, I don't know.
But this is what finally gets him fired. Which, fair. I
Isn't
would
this
be
where she-
pissed.
Also spits in his mouth.
Oh no! It is. Oh, I hated this. No, she doesn't spit in his mouth. She spits at him and he catches it in his mouth. There is a
Right.
difference.
I love
Holy shit.
my favorite thing about showing you shows like this is the messages I get while you're watching it.
They're all in capitals normally.
They're all in capitals.
And so, yeah, so because of the consequences of this, basically every woman is just working 24 hours, round the clock, trying to like redo all this programming that got deleted. And they just look like shit. And I feel so bad for them. And then they get they're like, "Oh, Kentaro stopped by and he dropped this off for you." And
She's
turns out
pissed.
it's just, yeah, it's like the new program basically that they've been working on for months for this client. He's just redone it and he's done it somehow better.
He learned how to do it. They were working on it for 2 weeks to try and make up 3 months of work, and he just like overnight is like, "Hey,
Yep.
I are genius."
I just found our thread while I was texting this, and I just love your thing that says there's no plot, but there's plotatas. Oh, jeez. Oh my gosh, this show is ridiculous. So basically, he saves the day by redoing this program and making it better. So, huzzah, good job. Next episode,
Well,
which is,
you're forgetting the fact that she falls in love with him because of this, basically.
yes, that is true. She does fall in love with him because of this.
That's the
And she's
whole
like,
that's the whole premise of this whole series is that he
Yes.
fucks up, fixes it, and everyone's like, "Oh, Kintaro,
they fall for him.
I was
Oh,
so
God.
wrong about you." Rub,
And we're
rub,
like,
rub.
no. You were not wrong. You can still be disgusted, but you can be thankful that he fixed his shit. But you can still, remember him drinking the toilet water.
Correct.
Anyways, on to number 2, which is Temptation of the Maiden, which he gets a job working as a campaign staffer for this mayoral candidate.
A corrupt mayoral candidate.
What? Never. Anyways, so he's like at the mayor's house for the initial thing and he like sees this beautiful girl. I mean, he doesn't see her. We see up her skirt. That's really what we see. And he falls in love with her, just staring right down her barrel. And turns out she's kind of a little tease herself because she's
She's
devised this
crazy.
scheme to just make him fall for like just basically like be a jailbait because she is a teenager
Mm-hmm.
and she's just like, oh, Kentaro, can you teach me to do math because I just can't get it, but I'm gonna change in front of you because reasons.
Well, then
And
she does
then
that for like weeks
yeah, she's
in
like,
more and more revealing outfits.
yeah, she's like, "Oh, I'm just gonna leave my panty drawer open. Oh, I'm just gonna, like, try on my new bathing suit for you to see." And, like, all this stuff, and just, like, being the absolute worst.
My favorite part of you watching this episode was the giant all caps, his hand just turned into a penis.
Yes. Oh my gosh. I don't understand.
I cackled at that because there's a little smiley face on it.
That doesn't no.
But no, this girl is a villain because
She's so
every
awful.
guy that's ever made a move on her has been killed by her Yakuza father.
Yeah, and that's the thing is, like, she finds Kentaro's notebook and reads it and realizes that he's, like he knows that she's just playing him. And she
Mhm.
gets mad at this. So to get him back for that, she again entraps him by like cutting her clothes and then giving the scissors to him and screaming. And so he
For
just
her
gets like the
daddy.
ever loving shit kicked out of him.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, "Oh, I love him." And it's just like,
That's the crazy. So she's fucking with him to basically almost get him killed. But then when he like takes a beating for her, all of a sudden she legitimately is in love with him.
yeah. I'm like, "No."
She also has that weird monologue about her warm pit of aroused passion, which is super fucking weird.
Yeah.
Um,
That's
but
uncomfortable
then
for everybody.
I gotta hand it to Kintaro. First off, he actually didn't go with her plan. He knew what she was doing. He was like not gonna make any actual moves. And also,
Mhm.
she tells him, I want you to actually take my virginity. He doesn't even blink an eye. He's like, nope, I'm done with this shit.
Yeah, and just like bounces.
Peace.
Yeah, so like I mean, points to him for not doing anything technically illegal. Like
He was like, you are underage. I'm not gonna like he's like, I'm gonna keep tutoring you because you clearly need it, but I'm not gonna fall for your ploys.
I can see right through them. You need to work on math. Oh man. So yeah, that was fun. Anyways, moving on to the next episode, where we start with a man who can't do his job because he was in a car accident and broke his arm. This episode is called Danger, the Virgin's First Love. And I don't know why I did that voice. I just thought it was fun. But yeah, Kentaro is helping this old man in his udon shop by making noodles because he has two functioning arms. He meets the daughter of the noodle maker, and they like he I don't want to say he like horn dogs for her right off the bat, but he like
He thinks
like
she's very pretty.
yes, exactly. And like she loves doing floral arrangements and she teaches him about like chrysanthemums and stuff like that, you know.
Yeah.
And we learn that she has a boyfriend, a suitor.
Kind
Let's
of
say a
a
suitor.
suitor.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a better term.
Yeah, who she's seeing, who like she really likes, her family really likes. It seems like they're going to get married. But then that night we see that the suitor is kind of a shitbag and he's with another woman in a car talking about like, "No baby, I don't love her. I'm just going to marry her so that in 6 months I can divorce her and take the real estate that the udon shop is and we can turn it into I don't know, like condos or something." Something stupid.
He's
And
just
Kentaro
calmly
is
taking notes.
yeah, Kentaro is just outside this car randomly taking notes, being like, "Oh, interesting." And they like notice and they're like, if you tell her, we will kill you." He's like, what do I do?" And so he's like trying to like, I don't know, like subtly like, I don't know if I really like this guy. I don't know. But to try and like push this relationship quicker, he takes her to the horse race in like a private suite to try and like ask her to marry him. And she's like, "I don't know." And he's like, "Well, I'll just let's just get a little hot and heavy. That'll help."
I love this scene.
I know. Because you see the horse and you're like, "What the fuck is this horse?" This like random weird horse mascot in the corner. And then it starts moving over because he's trying to like get hot and heavy with her. She's like, "I don't wanna," which he should stop immediately, but he doesn't because he's a piece of shit. And so Kentaro is in this weird mascot horse, and like the suitor like will undo her shirt, and then Kentaro will immediately button it back up, and then like undo her fly, and then immediately he'll do it back up. Like it's so funny.
And every time he does it, he's like undoes. He's like, I don't think so. And like the silly little voice and does it back up. Was cackling at this. Because the
Oh
guy's
my
like, I thought I
gosh.
just undid this.
Yeah,
Well,
right?
down to the bottom instead.
And then he's like, well, nobody could resist my kiss. Goes to kiss her, and Kentaro intercepts it. And they're both just like, whoa.
Well, this dude's like, it's my special move. And then just like, it's his tornado kiss.
It like
and it looks like the shittiest kiss.
Oh, yeah. I'm like, dry as the Sahara at that. I'm like, no, thank you.
Anyone kisses you like that, fucking end it.
Yeah, 100%.
But
it's funny because like he doesn't realize that it was Kentaro that he kissed. He's like, how did she resist it?
Also, when he's touching her hand, trying to like move it away from the zipper, she's like, wow, she's got surprisingly manly hands.
And the other thing is like, what is she doing during all of this? Like, she has to have seen this.
She's just chilling there being like, what is this guy doing? Just opening and closing my zipper over and over again. Like he has no idea what foreplay is.
This is going to get her so hot and heavy just playing with her zipper.
1.34 base.
Later that night or something, Kentaro was like, I don't think you should marry this guy. And she's like, well, I don't care what you think. And he kind of like goes off to meet the suitor and the other woman on top of this bridge.
Yeah.
And he's like, leave her alone. I don't think you should do this. He's like trying to appeal to them. And they're like, Hana! And she catches them. And so he's trying to be like, no, it's me and this girl. She just has the same name as you. It's so funny. Blah, blah, blah.
That's who we're talking shit about.
And she like runs away crying. And from this, Kentaro just kicks the ever-loving shit out of this guy.
Good.
He fucking deserves it. It's fantastic. And so that's kind of, yeah. So this one, he doesn't really like fuck anything up. He just kind of.
No, if anything, he does a good thing. Because this is first off, we'd already mentioned this, the most chill episode in terms of sexy stuff.
Oh yeah, this is the least pervy episode.
This girl confesses her love to him.
Mm-hmm.
Being like, you know what? It should be you with me. And bro, knowing he's not actually the right one for her, lets her off in the nicest way possible.
And it's great because like the closing of this episode, we see like the dad is back working again and everything's happy and blah blah blah. So that's like this. I think this was probably my favorite episode of the series, just because it is the one that it has a lot of heart, not a lot of heart on, and so I was like, I like this one. If all of them were like this, I would not be mad, but they aren't. So yeah. So from that episode, we're gonna go on to Swimming in the Sea of Love, which is the one that you showed me a clip of way back before we started this podcast. Oh my gosh.
Oh, so good.
Yep.
So what happened to this one?
Kentaro gets a job at a swimming pool. He doesn't know how to swim, but he gets a job here, and he like falls in love with the coach, who is apparently like a former Olympic athlete.
Look, you got to admit, the swimming instructor is a hottie.
Sure.
We love a strong, serious type, and she's the kind that will step on you, but not in a sexual way. She will just crush you.
She will. She will absolutely crush you. Somehow they like Kentaro challenges her to a swim a race to a swim competition. I know sports.
Yeah, if he can
race.
Yeah, if he can beat her, he gets to become a teacher.
Yeah. And then she's like, all right, I am a former Olympic champion. I accept this because there's no way you're going to beat me in a month. And so he's like, for this month, he's able to like teach the very little children who like throw up in the pool and other things.
But also, I want to note, I don't know if you noticed this, but 90% of the shading budget goes into the girls' outfits.
Oh, yeah.
To make sure that they really drive home every little facet of the body.
Oh my gosh.
Everything is like just flat art, and then the bodysuits and the swimsuits and the leather outfits are just like,
we need to see the crease in the vag.
Perfectly shaded.
Yep, 100%. Well, and the thing is like, so he's teaching these kids, and he's doing it in like a very compassionate way. And they're like, no, you just shove their head underwater and then hold it there for 10 seconds.
Exactly. Like he's doing some really wholesome, good stuff.
Like he's making it so that they want to learn how to swim and they're not just like traumatized.
I'll be honest, I had a terrible time learning to swim as a kid, and it fucked up my ability to be in water for years.
I just always would like do the backstroke and then pull myself along the lanes.
If I had Kentaro as a kid instead of the teacher that literally threw us into the water, I would have been great at swimming. And if I had a Yuko as an adult as a teacher, oh boy, I'd be an Olympic swimmer. Also, there is a moment when he's trying to prove himself where he jumps in the water to prove he's a great swimmer, and he's just floundering. He's choking and half walking half the way there, and he's barely making it. But then the second he touches the end at the end of his lap, his face becomes like highly animated and serious, and he turns and he's like, "How did I do?" And everyone's just staring at him like he's
They're just like
fucking
face
insane.
bombing. They're literally saying like this fucking guy.
But so now it's been a month.
Yeah, this woman underestimates like the amount of power horniness apparently has in this man. Because they start to the race and he's like kind of keeping up with her. And she's like, haha, foolish man. I'm only going at half speed. You'll never blah 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 blah. And so she like goes her actual speed and he's like, I must get like her badge and like just like somehow just pow I guess he gets a third leg to help him swim and just lands literally nose right in her cooch, just
He
right in the clam bar.
he inhales that Chlora seawater.
Oh my gosh, just like, ugh, it's just terrible.
Full swallow and everything. He just sucks in as much as he can.
Ugh, oh my gosh.
Which is
like,
disgusting because chlorine tastes gross.
oh yeah, you get a stomach ache.
But it's okay. He's okay with it.
Yeah, because he gets fired.
Well, she's pissed, but I love the scene because she goes Super Saiyan.
Oh yeah, she's like not having it.
Glowing, buff as hell, just like
Yeah, mommy.
just Rhea Ripleying it up.
Oh man. Yep, it's great. But yeah, he gets fired and it's just like, good, get rid of him. And then there's like, she gets stopped by a child later, like in the next scene, who is like, I really enjoyed Coach Kintaro. He made me love swimming. And she's like, what? And then they're like looking at the like stats or whatever, the feedback from like the coaching he did, and it actually was helping the kids be better swimmers and like want to stay and keep swimming.
And they
She's
redo
like,
their
"Oh,
entire course load because of it.
Yeah. Yeah. She's like, son of a bitch.
Damn it, he was actually really a good guy.
Yeah, exactly. And she's like, oh, I must hire him back. But of course, he's gone. He's already gone.
He's on his bike. He's traveling.
Yep. He's just a traveling learner.
He got hydrated and left.
Oh,
I feel like this next episode.
that's called Balls to the Wall. Like, just from that title alone, you're like, this is gonna be a terrible episode. Oh my gosh. So first off, we start off with like Kintaro on this like highway, and this woman on a motorbike just like shoots past him. And he's like, whoa. And then they both stop at the same rest stop or whatever, and she like grabs, I don't know, an energy drink or beer, whatever. And just like chugs and is like, yeah, and like is on her bike, and it's
Girl is packing.
Wow, she's just got like gazungas.
Here's the thing. I couldn't think about the cleavage. All I could think about was if you ride a motorcycle with your shirt that open, you're just going to collect so much bugs up in there.
Oh yeah, 100%. So much bug gut.
Like your underboob is just going to be it's just going to be like grasshoppers and flies, and mosquitoes. Oh.
Yeah. No, no. And she's just like, her motorcycle is like part Sibian. And
I just remember the next message you sent me. You're like, this girl's masturbating on a motorcycle.
She's literally masturbating on her motorcycle in the middle of like just public.
That's this is clearly the most like insane episode of the series.
This is literally the most pornographic episode of the series.
I had to rush to grab my headphones to plug them in because I was like watching it on fairly high volume because I had like stepped away to like grab something from my kitchen, so I turned the volume up, and then this starts, and I was like, oh, I didn't think it was going to happen this early in the episode. Running back.
Yeah, she's just like moaning, like pornographically on a motorbike.
It's not meant to be like she's just having a good ride. No, she is legitimately
like
riding
she's jilling
this
off.
thing.
Yeah.
She is going for it, which
Holy
is crazy.
Shit. I was just like, what is going on? And then she just goes away. And you're like, oh, I don't want to know what the rest of this episode is going to be like. So Kintaro gets to his new place of employment, which is like becomes a servant in some sort of like rich neighbor or rich household. He gets there and he's like working around, and then he finds the daughter who's also mega babe, and he of course immediately falls for her, and he's doing a terrible job because he's like the like lead servant, butler, head of staff, whatever, is just like a dick to him, and he's like, you must be more focused and have better dexterity and blah blah blah.
let's be honest, he does catch him again with his favorite thing in the world, which is
A
licking
toilet?
toilets.
Yeah. He's like, "You need to go.
This is
We
toilet
can't
number
have
3
that."
in the series.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. And so what does he do? He camps out outside of the house
Well,
for
that's what he does when he didn't have
28
a job.
days. Yeah. Which I just felt was weird.
He was waiting to catch a glimpse of the girl that he likes because she never
Mm,
leaves the building, apparently.
yep. And then he does. He finds out that she does. She gets in a cab. So he follows her to this warehouse garage where she just takes off her kimono and just has her little G-string on and fucking just strums her clitor on this fucking
Did,
motorcycle. This
did you
was so graphic. So graphic.
did you expect these two people to be the same people in the end?
I didn't.
No,
Because they
because
look
she looks
different.
different when she's No, she
Man.
she has a name for it and everything. It's her BMO baby.
Yeah. And she's like, yeah, I don't like men. I only like she basically has a fetish for her motorcycle.
Oh yeah,
Like,
it's
which I get
like
it. It vibrates. You
this
can
is the
ride it.
most hentai thing in this entire show.
Holy shit. Like, this is a porn.
It's graphic. Yeah, it's
Her
real
hand is
graphic.
like
So
between me down there.
I
Like,
forgot about this episode, so sorry about that.
holy moly.
Here's a fun fact. Did you know this is a real fetish called mechanophilia?
Oh yeah, I totally knew this.
And in some nations, if you are caught doing it, you have to register as a sex offender,
That doesn't make sense
which
to me.
seems a bit much.
Yeah, I'm like, if you're doing this in front of children, obviously you should be.
No.
But if you're doing this in your own garage, who gives a shit?
if you're fucking your muffler in private,
Yeah, if you're sticking it in
is
the
it
tailpipe.
weird? Yes. Do you have to go to
Absolutely.
your neighbors every time you move? No.
No. Yeah, I don't agree that you should be like considered like a registered sexual deviant if you do this. Because like
No.
nobody's getting hurt.
No.
I mean, you might be using taxpayers' dollars to come do like because you need medical attention for something. I don't know. But yeah, no, it's funny because I did message you. I was like, this is the start of the movie Titan.
And I was like, I don't know what that is. And you're like, girl gets pregnant from a car. I'm
Yeah,
like,
she fucks her
"Oh,
car and then gets pregnant.
great. Lovely.
So it's a weird movie.
But
Oh man.
yeah.
Yeah, so she's like she just basically like challenges him to a race. And she's like, if you have the stamina to like keep up with me, then you can like sleep with me because obviously you'll be good enough or whatever.
Well, because she says, every man is useless. The only thing that's ever given me pleasure is BMO.
I know, which I was like, "Ugh, girl, try girls then. They have a better success
Yeah.
rate."
But I love is like they're doing this race and she speeds off. She calls this driver in another car pencil dick.
Yep. The guy in the Porsche.
Move out of the way, pencil dick.
She's like, I know what kind of men drive Porsches. Which I was like, in where we're from, it's big white trucks.
Yep.
Oh man. She's like, ha, I'm gonna clearly win. And she like looks over and Gintaro is just riding his bike along power lines.
Bro,
Just going steady, 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 steady. Like and just like
Look.
speeds off. And she's like, no, okay, you win. I want to sleep with you. And just like he's gone. But yeah, he rides into the sunset, not getting any.
he never gets any.
No, he doesn't. Well, we come into episode 6, which is animation is fun. And he gets a job at an animation studio, I guess, being a PA.
But also, they didn't want to hire him because he didn't have a car.
Yeah.
Which, like, I hate when jobs that don't require a car to do require you to have a car. I had a retail job that I applied to that I lived 5 blocks away from when I was like 20, and they wouldn't hire me because I didn't have a car. And I was like, I can see the job from my house at the top of the hill. And they were like, no.
You need a car.
So fuck jobs that do that.
So he's like working for this one production company, and he like bonds with one of the guys in the animation studio over how because they both love drawing naked women. And they both different talk about like, oh, I like when the nipples face up. Well, I like when they face out. Blah blah blah. And it's just like,
If you're gonna draw hentai, you've got to do it good at least, right?
yeah,
You got to do the research, or else you're gonna end up looking like those like people that are in grade 10 posting on DeviantArt, being like, "This is what titties look like."
Yep. You're like, have you ever seen them?
The answer is probably no.
I'm guessing not. anyways, back to the show. So there is like this one girl in the animation studio named Chi, and she's a cell painter. And Kentaro was like, I like you. You're pretty. And it's great because we don't get any porny shots of her.
No, she's just innocent and nice.
But they have, so it turns out the director of the show is like a very famous hentai animator in Japan or something like that. And so they're like the movie they're working on is like one of his stories. I don't know.
No, it's not
And
hentai.
he does some sort of erotic animation.
He's the artist of a show called Golden Girl.
Boo.
Did you not pick up on that? All the big posters?
Now that you say it, I'm like, oh, I remember hearing Golden Girl because I remember thinking of Golden Girls.
Yeah, instead of Golden Boy, this world has Golden Girl.
So is this just like insertion art for the author?
Maybe. I would love to see this exact same show, but with the roles reversed.
I would hardcore pay to see that. But to see that.
To see that.
See that ass.
But we'll never get Golden Girl.
I know, and I'm so sad. Come on, feminism. If we're gonna do it one way, we gotta do it the other way. Anyways, so a bunch of shit hits the fan in terms of production. There's a lot of, the director gets in a car accident.
Mm-hmm.
And so they're like,
sorry.
Yeah, yeah. So that's what, the third car accident in this series? We're at a 50% rate?
I'm so sorry. I forgot about all the car accidents.
Oh man. Yeah, so they're like, fuck. And like the producer is a producer and she's like, I don't care. I want everything to be on schedule and you need it by this time and I won't give you an hour more. And so they're like, shit. So they're like, we physically like don't know how to do this. And then they're like, well, like CGI could work, but it's expensive and we don't know if we can do it and blah, blah, blah. And Kintaro's like, well, I know someone who does computer stuff that could definitely help us. And so he calls him Madam President? No.
Madam President.
It is her name, Madam President.
Yeah.
And calls in her to help. He basically like goes back to all the women that he's made friends with over this series and like gets them all to help. And I was like, my little heart, I love it so much.
Were you thinking this final episode was going to be a callback to everything that had previously happened?
I didn't, but I really liked it.
Like that's exactly it. Like it's such a good way to end the series where it's like Noodle Girl, she's delivering the people food. The computer
animators
girls,
forget to eat.
Yeah, computer girl's doing computer stuff. The girl on the motorbike is being a courier to make things go fast back and forth. Like it's
the
so
swimming
good.
Girl is like providing reference video for them to use. Yeah,
and the insane girl that tried to
the
entrap
student.
him.
Yeah, she does like voice work or something.
Yeah.
Oh man,
it's such a good way to end.
It is, and it is like for a raunchy, porny series, it actually is quite like wholesome.
The production goes well.
And yeah, when they do the like initial screening of it, the test screening, like, they're like, we only have like a couple things to tweak in the ending and it's ready to go. Like, it all works out really well.
It's a weird ass show that they're making though. It's about like 3 kids that summon an Oni to protect them, but it's like this giant demon and like I kind of want to see it.
Yeah.
I didn't do any research to see if it's real or not, but
yeah, like it was a very nice way to end the series.
Cuz it was like horny, wholesome.
Yeah.
Horny.
Very horny.
Yeah, wholesome.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, it was nice that they had those peaks and valleys. Because if it was just straight balls to the wall for every episode, I would not be able to watch this.
No. And it's because, like, here's the thing. I knew that you'd probably like this in the end because, like I'd mentioned previously, it knows it's dumb, but it still has a decent story points that it hits, and it's got funny characters and funny moments and gross out moments, like the spit mouth.
Ugh.
So I figured you'd get some enjoyment out of it, even though it was going to be an ecchi series.
Yeah. I would say, like, I'm not mad.
As far as ecchi goes, this is probably the better of what I could have given you.
Oh, absolutely. I 100% agree with you. And I understand how lucky I am despite all the car accidents that were in this series.
Yes, which again, so sorry. I didn't remember all the car accidents. I thought I was giving you something funny that you could not have to take a lot of notes on.
Yeah, which I mean, it's true. I have a page and a half of handwritten notes.
Yeah. It's simple.
Yeah.
Now, if you had to rate it,
Oh no.
what would you rate it?
Oh gosh. Oh gosh. Like a 6.7?
Okay. Now, what do you think it was rated?
I want to say like 7.4.
Oh, you are not too far off. But this series has been rated above an 8
What?
at 8.04 with
That
100 recommended compared to 3 not recommended in all of the written reviews. This is
ugh.
a beloved series.
I guess people like what they like. I don't think I'm going to be watching this again.
But I think it's a fair rating for what this is.
I would say of all the ecchi we've watched, this is probably the one I've enjoyed the most.
Yeah. Look,
Yeah.
sometimes there's shows out there that are marked as ecchi strictly because they got a lot of panty shots, but they're like just shows about martial arts or something.
Yeah.
Ranma is claimed to be an ecchi.
Which doesn't make any sense to me. I mean, I guess there's
Eh,
like she goes to sleep in a tank top. There's
there's
boobies.
titties and stuff, yeah.
Yeah.
But anyways, folks, if you want to check out Golden Boy, it is on Crunchyroll. I highly recommend the English dub because that is where the absurdity is.
The voices are ridiculous and like in a good way.
Yes, this is Stewart School of Voice Acting, but purposeful
Mhm.
and over the top in a well done way.
Yes.
But yeah, you can check out Crunchyroll. If you don't have Crunchyroll, you can Google the number 9, followed by the type of animation this is, followed by the name of the series, and I'm sure you'll find a way to watch the show. And if you want to check out more of the podcast, specifically our Agent Ica episode, which had, I think in the first minute, like 57 panty shots,
Holy moly. I think it was, the first 26 seconds is when we get our first panty shot.
pretty intense. You can check out that as well on all of your favorite podcasting platforms. Make sure to also follow us on Twitter at Animates and check out our free Patreon at Animates and YouTube at Animates. And we will catch you next week when Lindsey is in charge and has hopefully not yet found something terrible for me to watch. And in the meantime, go out there, touch some grass, and then go back and watch some more anime. Ta ta for now.